I just level up the stage. Go!
All right, I'm here. All right, welcome to the What's Your Question podcast. I'm on the hunt for the most powerful questions that'll give me the most powerful changes in my life and the lives of others. So what's your question?
I got champion DNA. Turn my worries into plays. I don't fold, I'm not a pig. I just level up the stage. I got champion DNA.
Yo, what's up? Welcome to another edition of What's Your Question podcast, where I'm on the hunt for 52 of the most powerful questions to give me the most powerful answers to help me in my life and the lives of others. And I'm going to be the guinea pig. Y'all get to ride along. Okay, we're going to dive right into it. If you're following along, man, we've been putting out some powerful questions. Last week's question was from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Okay, this is what it was, right? Last week's question, it says, what does seek first to understand, then to be understood mean? Right? So we dived off into that. That was a question. That question was about, showing somebody that, hey, look, I'm looking after you, right? I'm trying to break down barriers and build communication up to, instead of us going toe to toe, blow for blow against each other, I'm going to take the first step to seek first to understand, then to be understood. Now, I knew what that meant, right? So how was I going to incorporate that during the week? Well, what I started doing now, I've been running through these questions, but I really hadn't been running. See, I'm going to have to run through them again. And then this time we're going to add more weight to the bar. See, that's what we're doing, right? We in the gym, we starting out, we're doing the squats. It's still the same motion. So I'm gonna come back to this question, but when I come back to it again, it's gonna have more weight on it. We're gonna put more weight on it because I should be stronger, right? I should be stronger. Okay, check this out, right? Down to the last why. I said, man, let's just take a snapshot. I wanna make sure, because what I'm trying to do is incorporate reading these questions out. See, I've been going through them, getting the information, trying to remember, because my brain was telling me, oh yeah, look, bro, we ain't even got to worry about that. I got it. You ain't got to write anything down. But this time, I wanted to have something written down, snapshot on my phone to remind me of the question I'm supposed to implement. So it went all the way to the date. Last hour, I said, man, you know what? I'm going to implement this question. And this question was it gave me a little variation of it. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. That wasn't necessarily a question was a question in there. How could I incorporate that into my day? And that question was to ask somebody, say, hey, look, what's the one thing about you that you wish I understood that would make this conversation easier? I know we'd be chopping it up, but what's the one thing you wish I understood about you? So I asked that question. I said, man, I'm gonna ask that. I know I'm gonna ask my son, but I'm gonna ask that 2 or 3 folks. So the guys I was chopping it up with, I asked them. They was like, hey, you know what? Really, man, that's a pretty deep question for you to be asking me, right? I ain't really think, I wouldn't even think we was on a level that you didn't understand me, or whether you needed to understand me. You see what I'm saying? That's the deal. They said, man, I didn't even think we was on that level, because we wasn't doing a lot of close to close stuff to where now I felt that I wasn't understood. We didn't even chop it. We still surface level, right? So I took that, because all I had to do was just lift away. And then he asked me, he said, man, why you even ask me that question, man? I said, man, I come across these questions. I'm in the gym, just like I'm telling you, I got to implement them in my life so I can get stronger. He said, man, maybe I should do something like that. So yeah, but that was, see, I wasn't looking for that answer straight out of there. So I ran to the next guy, right? I had about 3 lined up, right? I think I only asked 2. But I still got to do my son, right? And my wife. It's some other things I got to do. It's a good question. That's a good question. So maybe that should have been the question, but that's the good question. And then so I went to him, the other cat. We walking out the door, we chilling, chopping it up. I said, hey, yo, let me ask you a quick question. What's the one thing about you wish I understood? What's the one thing you wish I understood about you that'll make our interactions more profitable for both of us, right? He said the same thing. Man, I don't know. I ain't even thought about that. I ain't thought. So as he finished, but I saw something in his eye. He said, yeah, you know what, man? I'm going to think on that a little bit, man. We maybe we ain't been going deep enough on that, right? So yeah, so that's what the deal was. But after we finished with that interaction, I understood one thing, right? Because I saw something, man. Man, it was so powerful. Hey, when I asked the question, I was looking for an answer, right? But the answer didn't come verbally. The answer came non-verbally because to their surprise that I wanted to understand them. Boy, you see that? You see that? Just with the Bible, so I got the answer. It was right there. Just the mere fact, even if they don't answer back, they registered in their mind that, hey, look, this cat won't understand me, right? Which I genuinely do, right? But that was it, man. That was so, man, I was shocked, man. I was like, man, I was like blown away, man. I was like, wow. That was the answer. I see. So now that's got to be a pretty top. That's got to be the top question. That's a top question, man. That's gonna be in my power questions, man. Maybe I should have redid the last one, man, until this question, man. This is a powerful question, y'all. I mean, I'm gonna put the little thing out, but this is a powerful question. Okay, all right. For this week's question, let's dive right into it. This week's question is still from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. This is habit number 6. It's called synergy. Using the difference to create a higher alternative. All right, here go the anatomy of the question. You know how the question always breaks out, right? How turns a question to an action. That's what I always want to do. I want to disseminate everything down from being abstract to being, hey, does this produce an action? Can I act on this? So that's why I always put how on there. And can opens up possibilities. Yeah, I like this can. This is why we phrase these questions right there. This is how we phrase them. Synergy. Now we're going to find the term. Synergy means combining different strengths, experiences, and viewpoints so that the third alternative emerges, an outcome better than either original idea. So synergy is basically, I'm going to sync your energy to my energy, therefore it's synergy. That's just my take on it. That's probably where you got it from. But that's, you see, we're going to sync them together. When things sync together, man, they just mesh right. They go together, man. And then now, 1 plus 1, even though I got these thumbs up, some people could say 2, or they could look at it and say, man, 2 ones right there, man, that ain't 2, that's 11. That's 11. That's synergy. Depending on how you look at it. You see a 1 and a 1 there, hey, you can say it's 2, or you can say it's 11. Not from abundance, so that's 11. That's what synergy is. So we're going to break that down because we're trying to get past compromise to where how can both of us get exactly what we want? But it got deeper. I read over this thing. It got a little deeper. Check this out. Okay, synergy changes the questions from how do I prove my answer is right to what higher answer could emerge from both of us. Why is the question so powerful? It turns disagreement into information instead of danger. It lets you remain confident without becoming closed-minded. It helps you see and use differences as creative material. I like that. Differences. They don't match. So let's put them together and see what else we can create. Because if the things don't match, right, that means I can come up with something different. Because if I got all black pepper, right, that's all I got is black pepper. What can I make? Black pepper. But if I got some other stuff, some salt, some oregano, some thyme, some rosemary, boy, we gonna get deep. We gonna get deep with that. Okay, it replaces the need to receive credit with a desire to create the best result. I don't care who take the credit. It makes collaboration a source of expanded intelligence rather than dependence. Synergy is not surrender. It's not people pleasing. It's not accepting disrespect. It's disciplined openness, respecting differences while producing and protecting truth, safety, boundaries, and core principles. Here it is right here. Check this out. You be looking out for my win. I'm going to be looking out for your win. But we got to be open enough to put all the cards on the table. And that question that I did the other day, see, first to understand, hey, what's the one thing that you wish that I understood? See what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. All right. So here's how we're going to dive into this thing. Because I always want some synergy. I was because this was one thing the other guy said. He was like, man, I'm still puzzled. Why did you ask me that? I said, because number one, I think Lewis Howe say that if you want to go, what do you say? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So you gotta have a team. We gotta, and I want to put together a team like-minded. I know you out there, man. You gonna get together. We gonna chop it up. We gonna put some. We gonna synergize this thing. Yeah, I know. We gonna get together. We gonna get together. Identity transformation. Repeated questions become identity instructions. When I repeatedly ask myself, how can synergy help me? I begin replacing an isolated identity with a creative, collaborative identity. Now, you know, all these questions doing is changing my identity. The old identity got me to this point, but it's another point that I want to get to. So I'm going to have to give a new identity. This old identity, it can't take me there. So I got to have this new identity. And this the thing that I liked about this, the isolated identity. Check this out, right? The isolated identity. I must already know the answer because I'm isolated. I must already know the answer. Now, I've said that several times. I'm just reflecting on myself. My value depends on appearing right. Asking for help exposes my weaknesses. Different opinions threaten my authority, and changing my mind means that I've lost. And they all lies, right? That's all lies. The synergistic identity, my first idea can be the beginning rather than a prison. Sometimes when I come up with an idea, man, something happened to my son's car. I had an idea. Here's the deal what I was thinking, right? Hey, I bought this car, told my wife, hey, yeah, this car's all good. Then it started acting up. And then now, instead of me getting it fixed, because for me to ask for help, meaning that I was wrong, I let the thing just go to kaput, right? I couldn't own up to it. I couldn't put no more money into it. You see what I'm saying? Because I made the decision, so I was feeling embarrassed. So sometimes when you make a decision, our first idea, we feel embarrassed. We get dogmatic about it because in order to ask for help, that meaning that we was wrong. Man, that was man, you know how many times, bro. Now I'm still working on that, man. It ain't completely done, man. I know some cats, man. It ain't none for them to ask for help. And everybody, I know it's a lot of folks out there say, "Oh yeah, I'm kind of like that." But are you in the areas that count? See what I'm saying? Because there's some areas where everybody still got their areas that, hey, look, I'm still dogmatic in that. And that's the area I'm getting in. Everybody got their area, right? Everybody got their area. So here we go. Another perspective can expand my intelligence. I can remain confident while learning. My leadership is measured by the outcome, not by who gets the credit. Yeah, that's a key thing because we've been taught we got to get the credit. If I can get past that, right? Even in the small things, I've been working on that, man. Just keeping my mouth shut. And my brain be like, man, I gotta get this credit, man. I gotta get this credit, man. Some kind of way. How can I slide in here and get this credit? I said, no, I'm not getting the credit. I'm not getting the credit. And man, it just mess because it's mess with you. That throw the other guy up on their shoulders and shouting his praises. Oh man, you awesome, you awesome. I'm like, man, I'm the one did that. And my ego like, man, go get that credit, man. Go snatch it. Go snatch it. I said, nah, I ain't gonna get that credit. I'm gonna let him roll. I'm gonna let him roll with it. Cause then I become stronger, right? Cause that's the only way to break the chains is just, hey, get the credit away. I'm not attached to the credit. Okay, identity declaration. This is declaration. I am a creator of higher alternatives. I recognize value in differences and combine strengths to produce outcomes none of us could create alone. That's a good declaration. That's a good declaration. What transcendence means here. Because we still want to transcend. Transcend doesn't magically mean that I'm becoming superhuman. But what it does mean, moving beyond the limits of my current assumptions, my current emotion reactions, my current experience, and my current identity. Every individual mind has blind spots. And for me to think that I don't, I'm delusional, crazy. But that transcendence is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to transcend some of those blind spots. These sources includes, here you go. Synergy allows you to connect my intelligence with other sources of intelligence, like my wife, my son, my kids. I mean, everybody want to build that team. But we got to get the synergy. I got to break down the barriers. I got to get them to open up. And that's what we're doing. Then all of us go together, go farther. It ain't all about just going faster. But I do like going faster. I do like it. But we can go faster and farther. See how your boy reeled that thing back in? I really did. You thought, hey, yeah. You thought it. What can become known when the right perspectives are combined? They can accelerate growth. That we just got through talking about going faster, because you do not have to learn every lesson only through personal trial and error. You can absorb the insight of others while contributing your own experience and judgment. You are not bypassing growth, man. You are multiplying the pathways. Oh, yes, through which growth can occur. I'm multiplying. That's good stuff, man. Because when I put the team together, man, like you say, 1+1 is not 2, baby. It's 3. It's 6. It's 9, man. We put it together because now we got, boy, I like synergy. I like synergy. And I'm just thinking, right? I'm using my imagination. I'm just thinking, man, when this thing comes, just get to this next level, a little bit of synergy, man, we're going to be accelerating this thing. I'm thinking, right? I'm using the imagination. Hey, we got to use our imagination a whole lot more. We got to use it a lot more. We got to exercise the imagination. Okay. All right. The practical path to transcendence, right? Here go the rules. I'm just going to run them down, right? They're going to be in the show notes. I'm going to put them in the show notes, okay? Regulate the first reaction. I'm going to pause before defending myself. Because this is what I'll have. What am I trying to protect? And that's the deal. Truth, safety, pride, whatever that is. Identify the shared destination. Ask, what are we ultimately trying to accomplish? Separate positions from interests. A position is what someone says must happen, and interest is the deeper need underneath it. Ask, what need is this position trying to protect? Because once I find out, see, we saying we want something, but we want something in order to protect something. See, we want something, but it's really, we don't want to lose. People, if I find out what you're trying to protect, bruh, that's what you're trying to protect. Man, I got that protected. Now what? Oh, shoot, if you got that protected, man, I don't care what you get. Oh, but you got to have that openness, right? That's what, hey, that's where the other question come in, man. Hey, let me ask you something, okay? What's the one thing you wish I understood about you in order to help this conversation or our relationship? It's good stuff. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Okay. Okay. State your truth without attacks. Okay. Okay. Hold on. We skipped one. Number 4. Understand before responding. Ask what matters most, what difficulty they see, and what you may be missing. Listen until and then summarize it back to them. Okay, state my truth without attack. When this happens, this is how it affects me. What I need is blank. I want us to find an option that addresses both concerns or both things. How can we protect both things? And once we get those, let's just concentrate on protecting those things. And then now everything else, we can just let the sky be the limit, right? Protect the differences. Do not rush to erase disagreement. Ask, what does their perspective see that mine does not? The difference may reveal risk, obstacle, value, or opportunity that I overlook. Okay. Create the third alternative. Do not stop at my way and your way. Okay. And then convert insight into action. Agree on what will happen, who will do it, and when will it occur. Planning. The transcendent question sequence. This is what we all been waiting on. This is what we all been waiting on. The question sequence. This is it. How do you see this situation? Okay. What concerns matter most to you? Okay. I'm asking these. I'm asking these first. What am I missing? Okay. What are we both trying to protect? Okay. Okay. What can we create that addresses both concerns? I like that. The transcendent question sequence, I'm going to use that. I'm going to take a picture of that, and then I'm going to use that. I don't know if y'all can see that right there. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it or not. But anyway, practical use in daily life. Okay. A neighbor and a dog. Everybody know about the neighbor and the dog. Guess what? We transcending, right? Okay, begin with the shared goal. We both want to enjoy our homes and avoid conflict. I'm going to explain the impact without attacking. What this means when the dog in my yard barking, man, I don't feel protected, right? So now we're going to ask, what's the difficulty in getting some restraints? Let's work through some options. Is it the fence? Is it money? Is it some low cost opportunities? Just getting to know, right? That's one thing right there. Landscaping back. Yeah, that's one thing. That's synergy, okay? We're going to get to know. I already asked the Lord to make the meeting, to plan the meeting for the rendezvous, to make the timing right and give me the words to say. He's setting all that up. I ain't got to rush nothing. I ain't got to pull a Moses on him. You know what I'm saying? Ain't got to pull a Moses on him. I'm going to wait for the time. Wait for the time. In automobile sales, when a customer demands a lower price, I'm going to investigate deeper. I'm going to do a better needs assessment. I already got me a little thing I'm writing out that God is going to quicken my mind to understand what they saying, to recognize the vehicle opportunities that may fit that I never even thought about before, and coming up with solutions outside the box to help the client. Right. Because I can synergize with God. See what I'm saying? I got the Holy Spirit on the inside, man, the ultimate synergistic being on the inside. So I'm tapping in there. I'm tapping into all that. That's what this is. Okay, synergy within myself. That's what I just got to saying, man. But let's see what they say about this. Different parts of you may want health and pleasure. Saving and travel. I never thought about synergy within myself. This is deep. I'm going to read all this. Discipline and rest. Do not automatically label one side good and the other side bad. Ask what legitimate need each side is protecting. Then create a system that responsibly honors both. For health, you may mean controlled portions, protein and vegetables with carbohydrates. Okay. Post-meal walking. Okay. Healthier versions of favorite foods. Planned indulgences instead of impulsive ones. I like this. This is synergy. I get to have my cake and eat it too. I like it. Oh, then the big one. You know what the big one is. We finna hit it. Synergy with artificial intelligence. That's what we finna get right now. Because we gotta work together. We can't be against the AI. So we working together. That's why I try to incorporate this in if you ain't on AI, let's get on it. Okay. Here you go. You provide live experiences. That's what I'm going to do. You provide lived experiences. I'm going to provide these experiences, values, emotional context, local knowledge, and responsibility. AI can provide speed comparison, organization, alternative generation. Use it to challenge your assumptions, not merely confirm them. A useful prompt is, drum roll please, useful prompt. Here's my goal: experiences, current solutions, and concerns. Identify what I may be overlooking and create 5 alternatives that preserve my non-negotiable values. Let's see if that works. Let's pop this thing open. Let's see what the chat. Let's see what the chatster gotta say about that. What you gotta say about that, huh? What you know about that? What you know about that, huh? Hello, are you there?
I'm right here. What's on your mind?
Okay, man, I like that you got a little volume on you today. Let me ask you a question, right? They say I can synergize with artificial intelligence, and since you are artificial intelligence, check this question out. Here's my goal, my experiences, my current solutions and concerns. Identify what I may be overlooking and create 5 alternatives that preserve my non-negotiable values based on what you know about me now.
To dive into that, to make it really meaningful, what's one specific goal or challenge you'd like us to focus on right now? Something you're working.
Well, I would like to overcome the feeling of unworthiness in certain situations.
That's a deep and powerful goal. We'll honor your values here. First, you might be overlooking how your self-talk influences those moments. What you say to yourself. One alternative is to develop a quick grounding ritual before entering those situations, like a brief affirmation or breath exercise. Another is to journal small wins each day so you're building up positive evidence of your worth. Third, consider a go-to supportive person who can offer perspective, someone who reminds you of your strengths. Fourth, you could intentionally seek situations where you're already confident and expand from there. Finally, a small gesture like helping others can reinforce your worth through action. Each step builds on your non-negotiable belief that you matter.
All right, okay. I think that's a good prompt. We're gonna keep that prompt. We're gonna try and use this prompt. Okay, my friend. Thank you very much. Okay, so you got it for this week. Okay, what's our question for this week? Our question for this week. Oh man, let's just pick one of these other questions, right? Let's see. Let's pick one of these synergistic questions. Where the question was how can synergy help me? That's what the original question. And then these synergistic questions that I must use as far as building it up, it's going to help me as far as building my relationship. I could use how you see the situation, what concerns matter to you most, what am I missing, and what are we both trying to protect? I like that. But the question is, how can synergy help you? I know how it's going to help me. We're going to test it out this week using these transcendent question sequence. That's my question. So what's your question? Peace out. Woo-hoo!
I just level up the stage. Levier.